I just bought this private jet, and whichever one of these 100 pilots wins this video keeps it. That's right. This is not a drill. One lucky pilot is walking away with a $2.4 million private jet. But first, they have to survive some of the most insane challenges we've ever designed. And believe me, these aren't your average obstacle courses or simple endurance tests. These are challenges that will push them to their physical, mental, and emotional limits. For the very first challenge, all 100 pilots were split into 3 teams. The task was simple to state but impossible to underestimate. Move a 40,000-pound plane across the finish line before the other teams. On paper, it sounds straightforward. In reality, it was sheer chaos. There were pilots shouting, strategizing, and pulling with everything they had. The tension was palpable. There was no way anyone was going home without giving it their absolute all. 3, 2, 1, go. The pilots lunged forward. Go, go, go. Every muscle was screaming in protest. Sweat poured down their faces, and hands blistered from gripping the plane. It was neck and neck. Some pilots tried brute forcing the task on their own, while others relied on careful team coordination. The energy was electric, almost tangible, as the crowd cheered and adrenaline surged. You're almost there. Keep going. And then, just like that, we had our first team to cross the finish line. They had earned the victory, and more importantly, a spot in the next challenge. The remaining pilots? 2/3 were eliminated instantly. But now, one pilot was officially in the running for that $2.4 million jet. The stakes had just escalated. The second challenge was called Jet Spinner, and the difficulty ramped up immediately. Pilots stood on small platforms, clutching the edges of the private jet as its thrusters roared to life, generating 60 miles per hour winds aimed directly at them. And as if that wasn't enough, the jet began rotating in a wide circle, trying to knock the pilots off balance. "This is insane," one pilot admitted, voice shaking. "I did not come this far to go home. I'm so scared right now." Eliminations started almost immediately. One by one, pilots were blown off balance. Some fell entirely, others had to be helped off, and a few even passed out from the sheer force. Even the NFL-trained pilot, who seemed like an unbreakable wall of strength, couldn't withstand the jet's fury. By the end of this challenge, the jet had eliminated 15 competitors, leaving just 19 pilots standing. Next, we took the challenge to the skies, 10,000 feet above the ground. The pilots had to pick a captain, and Samuel immediately volunteered. From there, a high-stakes skydiving challenge unfolded. Pilots had to choose briefcases, each containing instructions: either jump to the next round or face elimination. Trust and deception played huge roles. Some pilots lied to gain an advantage, while others told the truth and risked elimination. Every decision could be the difference between moving forward or being sent home. After a tense and nerve-wracking series of choices, only 10 pilots survived the skydiving round. Then came the most iconic challenge, the last hand on the jet game. The jet was positioned in the middle of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, completely blocking a major freeway. The rules were straightforward yet brutal. The last person to remove their hand from the plane wins. Anyone who lifted their hand, even for a second, was out. The prize? The $2.4 million private jet. As the challenge began, the pilots were determined to endure, some willing to hold on for hours, even days. We added several twists to increase the difficulty. Stand on one foot, keep only a single finger on the jet, or maintain the finger within a red square. The challenge now required not only endurance but balance, precision, and incredible mental fortitude. Exhaustion, heat, and sweat pushed these pilots beyond their limits. At one point, a pilot passed out completely. The others, however, refused to yield. They continued, ignoring pain, fatigue, and dehydration. With each elimination, a $10,000 cash prize was awarded, but for these pilots, the money was secondary. The jet was the ultimate prize, a life-changing reward worth every ounce of effort. Only 5 pilots remained. Hours turned into what felt like an endless endurance battle. Some pilots rested briefly while keeping their hands on the jet. Others tried to strategize. Sleep became the ultimate enemy. Anyone who fell asleep risked instant elimination. Physical pain was only part of the battle. The mental game was just as punishing. Fatigue, frustration, and sheer willpower collided as the pilots fought to maintain their grip. Finally, the top 3 pilots remained. And here came a twist I had promised, a 1-hour timer. During this hour, the finalists had to decide who deserved the jet. They could negotiate, lie, or attempt to manipulate the others. But if more than one person had their hand on the plane when the timer ran out, no one would win. Tensions skyrocketed. Arguments erupted. The pilots debated, strategized, and even tried to psych each other out. Some suggested games of luck to determine the winner. Others demanded skill-based challenges. There were debates over quizzes, golden ticket briefcases, and mental puzzles. For a full 60 minutes, negotiations, bluffing, and strategy continued, but the clock was relentless. Time was slipping away, and no progress had been made toward a resolution. Finally, after a grueling standoff, one pilot took a calculated risk. He picked the right briefcase and found the golden ticket. The others realized the game was over and, with a mix of exhaustion and respect, lifted their hands from the plane. And just like that, the private jet was his. He had earned it through sheer endurance, strategic thinking, and unparalleled mental toughness. The celebration that followed was extraordinary. Tears, cheers, and disbelief filled the air as the reality set in. After hours of extreme physical and mental challenges, one pilot now owned a $2.4 million private jet. Each of the top 3 finalists received $20,000 for their efforts, but the ultimate reward, the jet itself, was beyond anything money could buy. This video wasn't just a test of speed, strength, or endurance. It was a test of resilience, integrity, and determination. Every pilot faced challenges that pushed them beyond what they believed possible. From brute force to the terrifying jet blast, from skydiving to navigating the streets of Riyadh while gripping a plane for hours, these challenges tested every skill and trait imaginable. And while this was just one video, it set the stage for even bigger stakes. Beast Game Season 2 is coming soon, promising stronger challenges, crazier twists, and even more extraordinary rewards. Someone walked away with life-changing money, and next season will raise the stakes even higher. The moral is clear. The greatest rewards never come easy. True success requires courage, persistence, and a willingness to endure unimaginable physical and mental stress. For these pilots, each challenge was a test of character as much as skill. In the end, one person's perseverance, integrity, and determination triumphed, earning them the ultimate prize, a private jet. So, would you have lasted holding your hand on a $2.4 million jet in the Saudi heat? Could you endure hours of physical strain, sleep deprivation, and psychological pressure? Could you? It's easy to watch and think, I could do that. But until you've faced the heat, the exhaustion, and the pressure of standing for hours with a $2.4 million plane at stake, it's impossible to truly understand the mental and physical battle these pilots endured. Every decision mattered. Every strategy could make or break your chances, and every moment demanded focus beyond human limits. This challenge combined skill, strategy, endurance, and even psychological warfare. It pushed ordinary people into extraordinary situations where patience, observation, and quick thinking were just as vital as raw strength. Pilots had to calculate not just how to hold on physically, but also how to read their competitors' minds, anticipate moves, and decide when to conserve energy or push harder. For some, the challenges became a personal mission. One pilot, for example, was doing it for his family. He talked about his daughters, his dreams, and what winning the jet would mean for their future. That kind of motivation gave him the edge when fatigue threatened to win. Mental fortitude became as important as physical capability. And it wasn't just about endurance or strategy, it was about character. Trust and integrity came into play during the skydiving briefcase challenge and the golden ticket standoff. Some pilots chose honesty, risking elimination. Others tried to deceive their competitors for advantage. Every choice was a moral and strategic gamble, a decision that could secure the jet or cost it entirely. When the final golden ticket was revealed, it wasn't luck alone that determined the winner. It was persistence, discipline, mental toughness, and strategic thinking. This pilot had demonstrated all of those qualities in spades, earning the reward in a way that was fair, dramatic, and unforgettable. This wasn't just a competition. It was a masterclass in human perseverance. It was about pushing limits, testing boundaries, and proving that extreme effort, focus, and mental toughness can overcome seemingly impossible odds. And for those who watch, it serves as inspiration, a reminder that the biggest rewards come to those willing to endure, to fight, and to never quit. So, the question remains, would you have lasted? Could you handle the heat, the exhaustion, the mental strain, and the pressure of knowing that at any moment, one misstep could end your chance at a $2.4 million private jet? For these pilots, the answer was a resounding yes. And now, thanks to their determination, one of them will take flight in a brand new private jet. Earned, deserved, and unforgettable.